Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles. The Cowboys hold off the New York Football Giants in New York. The Giants took the lead in the third quarter. So it was kind of a boring first half. It was like 6-6. Giants went up with the Saquon Barkley touchdown, one of his patented great highlights. Just when you're thinking he's out of the game, he has that highlight. He's always been like that. Even the 2018 rookie season, the shining Saquon Barkley season on the hill. Even that season, it was sort of boom or bust. He did the LaDainian Tomlinson flip celebration as he jumped in, with the hand up, and he flips the ball with his fingertips. It was pretty cool. Nice tribute. But Zeke Elliott thumps one in right after that on the responding drive, like the halfling Emmitt Smith Jerry Jones wants him to be. And then Cooper Rush with the 1 yard fade route to CeeDee Lamb, which was, I don't even know if it was a fade route. It was just a sprint to the back pylon from the line of scrimmage at the 1 yard line. Great play from Rush to Lamb. And nice for CeeDee Lamb, since he had dropped an easy bomb earlier, kind of been having a tough year to this point. The internet pounced on him after he dropped that easy bomb, ready to call him a bust for his career. And I just don't bring shame to that Dallas 88. Have some reverence for what that number means. CeeDee Lamb, I enjoyed seeing him succeed. Drew Pearson, Michael Irvin, Dez Bryant, now CeeDee Lamb wearing that Cowboys 88. It was nice to see the throwback helmets, too, for the Giants. I was a huge fan of that, because the throwback helmets have actually been gone for like a decade or more. It's been a long time because of safety concerns, I guess. Though I contend how much money is going into the NFL through these TV deals, and how much in merchandise. Just figure it out. And they have. So the Giants have the old color and the old decals with just the word Giants with it underlined. And I love that, because it reminds me of the Lawrence Taylor, Carl Banks, Harry Carson, 80s, the Big Blue Wrecking Crew of the 80s. It also reminds me of the 90s when I was watching football, Dave Brown. When we were kids, whenever you'd make a bad throw, like on the playground or out in the street or, in the backyard, that was a Dave Brown. Maybe not fair to Dave Brown, but that was the helmet we were picturing. I guess it's not such a good memory for the Giants fans, but I'm not a Giants fan, so I don't care. The Giants' new Dave Brown, Daniel Jones, similar multi-season lackluster years, equally boring names. Dave Brown, Daniel Jones, they can form a law firm maybe after this. Daniel Jones was erratic. The Giants, man, they just continue to sag under the Dave Gettleman roster. The Dave Gettleman built out of arrogance, out of rejection of modern trends and technology. If you're ever in any kind of industry where somebody like Dave Gettleman tries to explain to you the reason for doing things, and the reason is because it's always been done this way, fire them or find a way to get them fired. It's all things have always been done this way. I remember Gettleman bragging about, all the teams in the title games have good rushing numbers. Like, okay. You drafted a running back number 2. You got embarrassed because everyone proved that was a bad thing to do. And now you're teams in the title games have good numbers all over the place because they're the Final Four teams and they're always winning games. They run the ball well because they're running out the clock. Gettleman just didn't get it. I mean, Daniel Jones is his legacy there, waiting out a year he probably wouldn't have if there was any quarterbacks in this draft, the 2022 draft. Saquon Barkley's wasting his prime here, just like everyone said would happen when Gettleman drafted him in 2018. And then, of course, Kenny Golladay out there, also not a popular man in New York. He dropped the third down pass, and the New York fans just booed the hell out of him. I love that. And the game ends as Daniel Jones throws to some random number 13, the number of Odell Beckham Jr., the number that should have resonated through New York. He was an icon. Beckham was on the pace to be like, the 84 Purple Moss or the red 80 Rice. And Gettleman said he'd never trade him, and then he did trade him. But now there's some doof, some like wide receiver 6 special teamer running out there. He's got the 13, the New York Giant 13. He trips, he falls. It's intercepted by Trayvon Diggs. Game over. And Sterling Shepard hurt on that play. Really sad to see that. Shepard just cannot catch a break. This is his third season with a major injury. He did go over 4,000 career yards tonight, but I don't know that we'll see him again. But on the positive side, which means the other side of the field, the Dallas Cowboys, this was impressive. Cooper Rush getting two wins, beating the Bengals, now beating the Giants on Monday Night Football. A lot of us had said the Cowboys were done after week 1 with that awful performance against Tampa Bay, before Dak Prescott went down with injury. We were saying like, is it too early to say they're done? And now they're 2-1. And so I probably did the same thing everyone else did. Let's check the status on that Dak Prescott recovery here. Let's get our grandma glasses out, just scrolling through the iPad. The first headline is Dak won't rule out week 4. Like, okay, go past that. And the original timeline was 6 to 8 weeks. We're not gonna dignify that. Of course, he won't rule out week 4. I mean, it's just all part of the don't contradict the boss. Dr. Jerry Jones. You just don't rule anything out. That means nothing. But sounds like he had his stitches out today. Sounds like he was throwing in the warm-ups today. And he says a couple of weeks, and he's counting this as one of them. So I think it's realistic that we're not talking November or December. I think we're talking October for Dak's return. And the Cowboys are 2-1 with beatable Commanders up next. All right. Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. Show is football everything. NFL history, legacy, ups and downs of the season. Follow us on Twitter at MUK_football, at MUK_football, Twitter or YouTube. Subscribe, share, review, Apple, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you get podcasts. We got shows Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. 3 shows a week. And now that week 3 is in the books, let's take a look at some winners and losers. Reminder to check out the Sunday show from yesterday, where we reviewed Sunday Night Football, gave out some Sunday Best Awards, Best Players, Best Play, Meme of the Day, kind of created a team of the Sunday Best. And let us start with the winners. The Miami Dolphins in the city of Miami. So that game was fantastic. Bills, Dolphins. I won't be calling the Bills losers. That game was basically the opposite of an ice bowl. It's the heat, muggy soup bowl of Florida in September. So the weather mucking up, what we should be taking from the game. But it was still fun. It was still fun to watch guys put their hearts and souls out there. A lot of tough performances from both teams. I really look forward to Bills Dolphins, the opposite, which will be December Buffalo. So it's September in Miami, December in Buffalo. Schedule makers, guys, it should be Buffalo in September, Miami in December. But I'm not ready to make any declarations about Miami. But Tua, Waddle, and Hill will keep the Dolphins in any game as long as they are healthy. Meaning that for now, Miami is one of the most fun teams to watch. They're the team you want on your TV right now. And luckily, we've got them coming up Thursday Night Football. Miami is fun for the first time. I mean, Miami, the city, a big party city already. A lot of cocaine, if I understand, as I understand from the movies. But their football team has been boring for 40 years. I guess they had the Wildcat, the 2008 Wildcat year, and the later Marino years. You kind of always talked yourself into it, but the last time the Miami Dolphins were truly exciting, the last time the Miami Dolphins really had this bite was the Dan Marino, Mark Duper, Mark Clayton years, 84, 86, 88, just those seasons where they could just snap any game. And that is happening with Waddle and Hill. That's how good these two are on the same field. The gravity of each other. So I'm definitely holding back. I'm not talking about the season, really, but I am talking about just right now. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's a September mirage, but for right now, the Miami Dolphins are the team that you want on your TV for the next couple weeks. Pretty cool. Next winner. Our other team who will be joining us for Thursday Night Football, streaming only on Amazon Prime, the Cincinnati Bengals. They saved their season with a victory over the Jets. They did it. You know, you expected them to win, but also you expected them to beat the Cowboys without Dak the week before. So we can just breathe. Okay. The defending AFC champs are not 0-3. And Joe Burrow had his best game without his appendix. But man, he still hangs in there a long time. He's taken hits. It's the difference in this game, really, was that Joe Burrow was still under pressure because Joe Burrow's holding the ball a lot. It's not only on the offensive line, but this time the guys who were around him weren't TJ Watt like it was in week 1, wasn't Micah Parsons like it was in week 2. It was just some Jets. So Burrow was fine and was able to get the ball out, connect with Higgins, connect with Boyd, chase for one touchdown. And that Bengals defense is still strong. Just the non-0-3. We can breathe about the Bengals. We'll see how the defense holds up because it's been Trubisky, Cooper Rush, and Flacco so far. So how is that Cincinnati Bengals defense, which I praised up and down during the playoffs, how are they going to handle Tua, Waddle, and Hill on Thursday? And the last winner's got to be the other 3-0 team, right? The Philadelphia Eagles. I talked about them a ton yesterday's podcast. Check that out. The Sunday best wide receiver, Devonta Smith. Sunday best defense, the Eagles beating the hell out of Carson Wentz in Washington. So I'll just use this space to talk. There's only two teams that are undefeated right now. It's just Miami and Philadelphia, both at 3-0. And I mean, are we going to get a team that goes very far in? The Cardinals made it to 7-0 last year. Steelers were 11-0 in 2020. Before that, the 49ers, Patriots, Rams all made it to 8-0. So, last that's 5 years, we've had a team kind of making it to midseason undefeated. I don't know. We've only got 2 teams left, the Eagles and the Dolphins. And I don't know if the Dolphins beat the Bengals on Thursday. I don't know if they do. And the Eagles suddenly got the Jaguars, who are suddenly a tough out. Oh, amazing how quickly things turn around. So we will see. People saying, unprecedented parity. Unprecedented parity. Not really true. I mean, in 2014, nobody made it to 4-0. Not one team. And in 2010, nobody made it to 4-0. So we've seen this before, but it's still quite cool. If I have to pick one of the teams to make it, I'm going to say that the Eagles are the team that lasts longer as undefeated. All right, let's get to the losers. The New England Patriots. Mac Jones is hurt on what should have been his breakout game. I mean, he looked good, did throw kind of a back-breaking pick in the end zone, but he connected with Devontae Parker all of a sudden. He looked good with his legs. Mac Jones feeling like, don't leave me out. Tua's going off. Jalen Hurts is going off. And Mac Jones is saying, I'm supposed to be the Alabama quarterback going off. And he looked good. But on the last play against the Ravens, he got really hurt. And despite the Patriots' stubborn refusal to provide information, high ankle sprain, it looks pretty serious. I mean, they're saying high ankle sprain, but they're also saying might require surgery. Like, okay, if you watch the play, go and watch the play. He's really hurt. Mac Jones is really hurt. But I just got the Patriots' smug sense of self-importance that they just will not release any information. Like this is like NASA or like national security or something like that. Like it annoys me so much. It was fine while they were winning Super Bowls and winning the AFC every year because you could say like they're trying to keep, the other teams from finding out what they're doing. They want to release as little information as possible. But now it's just clear it's just a piss poor attitude and secrecy, the my way or the highway, do your job, say nothing, everyone's trying to cheat. It's actually toxic. This explains why the Bill Belichick tree can't do anything outside of New England. Because that's sort of like just everyone is against us. We don't tell you anything. We're better than you. We're hiding national security secrets everywhere. We don't even know who's calling the plays. That only works if you have a football genius at the center, such as Bill Belichick. So the other coaches who take that approach and they're not a football genius, they fail because that is a toxic attitude. Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, Josh McDaniels for the 0-3 Raiders. Speaking of next loser. Josh McDaniels and the 0-3 Raiders. They're the only 0-3 team in the NFL. Parity. Though the Texans are also winless with a tie, as they would call it in Europe, a half win. But in America, a tie is a loss. The Texans are basically 0-3 as well. Takes a rare steak and washes it down with an ice cold Bud. USA, USA, you don't tie. You don't tie. You don't play for a tie, Lovie Smith. I hope he doesn't win another game. I hope he's 0-16-1 for punting, accepting that tie. I hate that. In week 18, the Lions and the Jaguars, and they played to win. And then the Chargers and the Raiders, they didn't play for a tie. I'm proud of that. Oddly proud of it. There has not been a lot to be patriotic about since 2016, but the hate of ties is just one of them. This is supposed to be about the Raiders, though. The Raiders, I hate to be this guy, but I was right. Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, it all looks good on paper, but they have no offensive line. It's a tale as old as time. Next loser. And the sun sets on another August of Charger hype. It's now pumpkin spice lattes come out, and everyone starts writing their pieces about what went wrong for the Los Angeles Chargers. I can't remember a year where the Chargers didn't lose significant major stars to injury early in the season. Along the line, on defense, weapons. This happened to Phillip Rivers for 15 years. What is it? Is it confirmation bias? That it always like, oh, it happens again, and maybe it's like in my mind, it's narrative. Are there actual numbers? Do the Chargers truly always get hurt? It feels like they do. Joey Bosa, significant groin injury. Rashawn Slater, left tackle, out for the year. And so yet again, and Keenan Allen's not playing either. Yet again, it doesn't make sense. You thought the Chargers had this great thing around them. Justin Herbert, I again implore you, get out. Get out while you can. Play for a team that has home fans, take a couple franchise years, and just do it. All right, Mukilteo Football Show. We will be back Thursday to preview Week 4. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.